Share screen. We'll get to the. All right, that's where we are in Perek Test Zayin. Now, previous to this, in the previous prokim, we were talking about there's really a discussion between the Arizal and the Ramak, disagreement between the Arizal and the Ramak. That according to the Ramak, the or itself is bli gvul, and the only thing that makes gvul in the or is the kalim. And the moshel that he gave for that is the moshel that we've said hundreds of times already. The moshel that he gave is water in different colored kalim. If the kli is blue, the water is going to look blue. But the water itself, if you pull the water out of the kli, the water itself doesn't have a color, right? The water itself is lamayla mikol gavan and medida. So it only looks like it has a shape and it has a color when it's in the kli. But actually, in fact, it doesn't. That is what the Ramak says. The Arizal argues with this and says, how would it be possible for or that's bli gvul to actually get into a kli, which is bechinas gvul? Therefore, there must be an inyan of gvul in the oyer. In the previous prokim, we were discussing that the gvul in the oyer is not the same as the gvul in the kalim. Gvul in the kalim comes from the reshimo. What's the reshimo? The reshimo is before the tzimtzum, prior to the tzimtzum, there was kocha gvul in the oyer ein soif. With the tzimtzum, with the koach tzimtzum, what was left after the oyer was nistalek was the koach gvul. That koach gvul is called the reshimo, and the reshimo is the shoresh hakalim, as is brought down in Chabad Hasidus. It's explained also in the Arizal, but not by Arichus. He doesn't go into it very much. There are others for him, Emek HaMelech, where he discusses it in much greater detail. In fact, in a lot of detail. And but in any event, the way Hasidus Chabad sees it, certainly the inyan of the Reshimo is the Shoresh HaKelim. So what's the inyan of the oiros? Well, there's two inyanim in the oiros. There's the or, which is mamash bli gvul, which does not go into kalim of any sort. And that is, the shorish of that is the or ein sof itself. And then the oiros that are shayach to kalim, and that's the oir of the sefirot hagenuzot. So according to the way the Rebbe Rashab is explaining it over here, the inyan of the sefirot hagenuzot is what gives a tziyur in the oir. That's what gives a tziyur in the oir. Let me just see if there's anyone trying to get in. Well, if I didn't get in now, it's too late, I guess.
But this is not at the level of Etzem Haor. It's only at the lower level.
What is that? I'm sorry. Say that again. What?
So this is not at the level of Etzem Haor.
Right. Etzem Haor is that's bli gvul. You're right, 100%. So again, there's actually three madregas in the oyer. There's what's called Etzem Haor. There's or shebegilu la'atzmoi, and there's or hashayach lo'elamis. Here we're talking about or hashayach lo'elamis, essentially. That's what we're talking about. The sefirot hagenuzot is the hagbola in the or hashayach lo'elamis. That's essentially what we're talking about. Now, in this perek, in Perek Test Zayin, the Rebbe is going to, the Rebbe Rashab, the Rebbe is going to explain that sort of a maimar hamuzgar. You can see it's in brackets. A maimar hamuzgar, meaning it's a side issue. It's not part of the main thrust and the main theme of the inyan that we're discussing. But nevertheless, it's an important inyan because through it we understand much more clearly the inyan, the role of Shem Havaye in this whole process. And he's going to explain this right now. So. And the difference between Shem Havaye and the other Shemois. And in fact, in Shem Havaye itself, there's two, what would you call them, iterations, two manifestations of Shem Havaye. There's Havaye de la Ela and Havaye de la Sata. And we're going to discuss all of these things, and he lays it out very, very clearly. It's a very geschmacka and important perek from that point of view. Okay. I hope that there's a reasonable summary. It's a long time since we learned together, from before Tishrei, if you remember correctly. And of course, Tishrei intervened, and then I got sick. And so it's been quite a long time. But Here we are. So let's continue. So Perek Zayin, anyone's following the sefer, otherwise you can follow on the screen. What's highlighted in green over here. V'hina mashin is ba'alel, the shorish and makor hakav, that the shorish and the makor hakav, the kav, as opposed to the rishimo, the kav is the shorish ha'oir. Mashenken, the rishimo, shorish ha'kelim. He's going to explain. Mashin is ba'alel, the shorish and makor hakav, hu lagabe atzbus orein soif, shorish and makor b'chinas ha'gvul. Lagabe, the Indian of Orein Sof, in other words, Orein Sof, which is not in the Kav, but Orein Sof, that's Lamalim in a Kav. So the Kav is Bechinas Gvul. Afal Pi, that the Kav is a Gilui of Or, and relatively speaking, it's Or which is Bli Gvul Lagabe the Kalim. Certainly Kalim on a lower Madrega, and we're talking about Kalim in Olam Atzilus and so on, because you can't really talk about. Essentially, you can't really talk about Kalim in the proper sense. That we do talk about the Inyan of Kalim, but in any event, the Kav Lagabe the Kalim is Bechinas Blig Gvul, but the Kav Lagabe the Orein Sof is Bechinas Gvul. That's what we explained before. Again, so Atzim Sa Orein Sof Lagabe Atzmus Orein Sof Shorish Mago Bechinas Gvul. The Kav is Bechinas Gvul. The shorish and the makor of gvul. Which gvul? Not the gvul of kalim, the gvul of oir. Okay, so he explains more. We're not talking about the korcha gvul sheba ein sof, which is the korcha gvul that gives rise to the kalim. That's the shorish of the kalim, because that's the rishimo. We're not talking about the korcha gvul in that sense over here. We're just talking about that the kav itself is called kav echad. Dak va'aroch, right? It's dak. The fact that it's dak means that it's not mispashet bebechinas ein sof. It's dak. It's affected by the tzimtzum in that not all the or is misgala in the kav. Not all of the or ein sof that was prior to the tzimtzum is misgala in the kav. Only or hashayich lo'elimus. And yesh loimer as well. There's a whole discussion about this. Or should be Gilul Atzmo, and maybe some of that also comes in the Kav. We'll discuss that at a later stage. In any event, the Hina is Baaleel Perektes, the Rishimo Shu Shoresh Kelim, who in an Hashem is Kel Elokim v'chulu v'chulu. So the whole Inyan of the Rishimo is the Inyan of Kelim, and that has to do with the Inyan of Shemois, the Shemois Kel Elokim, as we know, when Moshe Rabbeinu by the Sneh wanted to know the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, Shmi ata mavakesh leidai, my name you want to know, Lefi ma'asai ani yikra, according to my deeds I am called. What are those deeds that I am called? In other words, the pu'ulos, the various pu'ulos that come about, are either pul of chesed, that's Shem Kel, or a pul of gvura, Shem Elokim, and so on and so forth, and those are the Shemois. So the Shemois are what come from the Rishimo, those Shemois, but not Shem Havaye. The Shemois, as opposed to the Shem, Hashem HaMafurash, the Shem HaEtzem, as we're going to discuss shortly. So he says again, yeah, Umakor HaKelim hu inan Hashemos kem Elokel and Elokim, etc., etc. Now, when he says that the Rishimo is the Shorish Umakor HaKelim, which is the Inyan of the Shemes Kel Elokim, he explained before in Perek Tes, and he's going to explain it again later, but he explained before that we're not talking about the so to speak, the choimer of the kli. We're talking about the chayus of the kli. In other words, not the gashmius of the kli, but the chayus of the kli. That's what the shemois are. The shemois are not the chitzonius of the kli. The shemois are the chayus of the kli. Right? The chitzonius of the kli, that comes from the oasis of the Rishimo itself, but the inyan of the shemois, which also come out of the Rishimo, that's the chayus of the kli itself, and that's what the Baal Shem Tov actually, it was the chidush of the Baal Shem Tov to explain this inyan. Al Kopanim, it seems to be a chidush of the Baal Shem Tov. It doesn't seem to be explained anywhere else in that particular way. So Al Kopanim, the inyan of the shemois is the chayus of the kli. And he's going to explain this a little bit more.
How is the concept of chayas related to the concept of etzem? So chayas of the kli and etzem of the kli.
So the chayas of the kli is a pu'ula. It's not the inyan of etzem in the inyan of etzem ha'oyer or for sure not the inyan of atzmus.
No, but
It's the
etzem
etzem
hakli.
hakli.
Yeah.
It depends on the context in which it's being spoken about. Sometimes when you find in Maimorim, when it talks about the inyan of etzem hakli, it's talking about, so to speak, kavyochel the gashmius and the hagbola of the keli, right? Sometimes when it talks about etzem hakli, it means the chayus of the kli, right? So it really depends. It depends what you're talking about. As I say, it depends on what you're talking about. Okay, so there's a Hasidic Maisa that how does it? I forget exactly the Indian now, but Akopanim so there's someone asks his mashpia, what's the meaning of a particular Indian, and says Venzavudo state, right? It depends where it stands. If it's standing in the courtyard, then it's a donkey, right? If it's in the yeshiva, then it's a human being, whatever. I forget exactly the word that he was being mafarish, but that's basically the same thing over here. As okay. So as he was saying, that it's the chayus of the kli, shezehu ha'orva chayus shel hakelim atzman. The shemois, but not the shem Havaye, the shemois are the chayus of the kelim themselves. Aval ha'oyer in the kli hu b'china shem Havaye. The or in the kli is b'china shem Havaye. Now, let's just stop for a minute and think, like, how does this work with the Ramak? The Ramak would not argue with us that that's Shem Havaye. Only what, for the Ramak, Shem Havaye that he's talking about over here was the Shem Havaye de La'ela. Masha'in can, like in the Arizal, we're talking about Shem Havaye de Lasata, which we'll get to talk about very shortly. We're going to talk about this now. So, upon him, the Indian of Oyer is a Shem Havaye, B'china Shem Havaye. U'k'mosh gaza b'sefer, b'sidur, rather, Shar HaMoyadim, that's in the Sidurim Dach, Shara Moyadim, the Pnimia Zo, Zerampim being the sefirot from Chesed to Yesoid. It's not just the sefirot, but it's the partzuf of the sefirot called Zerampin, which the shortage of Zerampin is in Arich Anpin. But let's leave that for now. It says that in Shara Moyadim, Pnimia Zo, B'china Shem Havaye, that in the name Havaye is associated Dafka with Zeir Anpin of Atzilus. Shezehu Shava B'chol HaSfiros. And in all of the Sfiros, since every Sfira is comprised of every other Sfira, or every Sfira is a particular partzuf, like the partzuf of Chochma is called Abba, the partzuf of Bina is called Ima, the partzuf of the 6 Sfiros from Chesed to Yesoid is called Zeir Anpin, and the partzuf of Malchus is called Nukva. So each one of those partzufim, explained in Kisra Harizal, each one of those partzufim has all the partzufim in it. In other words, in Zeir Anpin, you also have Arich of Zeir Anpin, you have Abba of Zeir Anpin, Arich bin Chitzon Keser, and you have Abba of Zeir Anpin, and you have Ima of Zeir, and you have Zeir Anpin of Zeir Anpin, right? In other words, that would be Tiferes of Zeir Anpin, and so on and so forth. Okay, so therefore, the Shem Havaye is Shava B'chol HaSfiros in the sense that it's the order of the Sfiros as B'china Zo. U'b'paradei Shar Dala Perek Vav Kasav B'inyan Shem Havaye, B'inyan Shem Ma Milagav, that the Inyan of Shem Ma is what's inside the Sfiros. There's Milagav and Milavar. Milagav means inside, and Milavar means outside. Okay, so Shem Ma Milagav. Where do we see this expression? In Pasach Eliyahu, right? Pasach Eliyahu that we read on Erev Shabbos, which is part of the Hagdoma to Tikkun Zohar. So he explains over there the Inyan of Shem Ma Milgav. That's what the Ramak is explaining. Now, what's Shem Ma? Shem Ma is Shem Yud K Vav K, but iterated. Iterated meaning with a milui of the oisius. The miloi of Yud is always Yud Vav Dalet, always. The miloi of Hey can be Hey Yud, It could be Hey, it could be Hey Aleph. And all the rest of the oises have their miluim as well. If the milui all the way through is Yud, then it's Shem Ab. It adds up to 72, right? If the milui is with a Hey, except the Vav is not Vav Hey Vav, but Vav Aleph Vav, that's Shem Sag. If the milui is Alephin, with milu Alephin, that's Shem Ma. In other words, Yud Vav Daled, that's the Yud. Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, Hey Aleph, Gematria, Gematria 45, that's Shema. Okay, no more people coming in. Okay, so nevertheless, all the Shemois, Shem Ab, Shema, Shem Sag, Shem Ban, all of them are based on, interestingly enough, in amongst the Sfardim, they don't say Shem Ban, they say Shem Ben. And I think there's a reason that the Ashkenazim don't say Shem Ben is because of certain other religions where they hold the Indian event to be Epis Kadosh. So just if you ever hear it as Shem Ben, you'll know that they're talking about the same thing as Shem Ban. But since they're Sephardim and they come from Muslim countries, they don't have this issue. But in Ashkenazi countries, I think they're very careful to say Shem Ban and not Shem Ben. There might be other reasons for it as well, but I suspect that that's the main reason for the difference between Ashkenazi and Sephardim. In any event, in the pronunciation of that word, Kumuvan. Okay, so the Indian of Shem Ma Milagav. What's Shem Ma Milagav? Shem Ma inside the Shem Ben Daled. That's the name of the four oisius of Yud Kei Vav Kei. Heyois the Yesoidoi Daled. Even though the Yesoid of Shem Havaye, in other words, the fundamental Iker oisius of Shem Havaye is four oisius, the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Nevertheless, Oila Asara oisius b'milui. It adds up to 10 oisius in the milui because it's Yud Vav Dalet is 3, and then Hey Aleph is 2, that's already 5, and then Vav Aleph is 3, and Hey Aleph is another 2, so 5 and 5, 10. Right, adds up to 10 oisius altogether, and the 10 oisius, each one of those oisius is meramis to a sefira, to one of the spheres, one of the 10 spheres. In any event, so oila asara oisius b'milui, shehem esas spheros. These are the esas spheros as we just said. V'heim spheros mispashtim betocha kelim, and this is the Indian of the spheros that is mispashet in the kelim. What do we mean the spheros that are mispashet in the kelim? We mean the oiros that are mispashet in the kelim. Whereas the Shem Kel, Shem Elokim, Shem Adonai, and so on and so forth, all those other names, and there are actually 10 of them. The 10 Shemois are the Shemois that are associated with the kelim of these spheroids, and those come from the Rishimo. Again, what are these Shemois? The Shem of Chochma is Yudkei. The Shem associated with Bina is either Ekye or the Shem Havaye ba'oisis Elokim, Nikud Elokim, right? And then there's Chesed is Kel, and Elokim is Gvura, and then Havaye Tzvakois is Yisoid, Yud Kei Vav Kei. We'll see shortly. Yud Kei Vav Kei is associated with Tiferet. Havaye Tzvakois is Netzach. Elokim Tzvakois is Hoid. Shin Daled Yud is Yesoid, and Adnai Aleph Daled Nun Yud is Malchus. Okay, so those are the spheroids. Mitzad the highest of the sphera, which is those 10 shemois. But the or that's mispashet into them is called the sphera. This is what he's going to explain. Hainu shezehu ha'atzmus. What do we mean atzmus? We don't mean atzmus in the true sense of the word. It's in the sense of the word that the Ramak used the word atzmus. The Ramak didn't talk about oiros and kalim. He talked about atzmus and kalim, because for him the oir in the kalim was atzmus, right? That's what it was. It wasn't anything else. So therefore, he always used the loshon atzmus and kalim. Ayin Ken Rizal uses the loshon oiros and kalim, but since he's quoting from the Ramak over here, we started off quoting from the Ramak. Parde Sharain Dalet or Shar Dalet Perik Vav. Shar Dalet Perik Vav. So he explains over there that that's called, the Lashon he uses the Indian of Atzmus, but the Rebbe Rashab immediately tells him, Oir. Yeah, in our Lashon, in the Lashon of the Arizal, that's called Oir, not Atzmus. So, okay, so the sefirot is associated with, therefore associated with the Oir of the sefirot is associated with saying Shem Havaye, and Shem Havaye in different iterations, as Shema, Shem Ban, Shem Ab, and so on and so forth. Umizlabish b'toch ha'kelim. And this is the or that's melubash in the kelim. It's not the melubash in the kli itself, it's the chayus of the kli, but it's or in the kelim. What the Ramak referred to as the water in the kali kli, right? But the Arizal explains that that's the Inyan of Shem Havaye in one of its iterations. V'im kain, gam shorshoy, gam b'shorshu makoyroi b'orein soif. This being the case, even the shorish and makor in orein social v'nei tzimtzum hu b'chinas Shem Havaye. The oir, the shorish of the oir before the tzimtzum is also Shem Havaye. Now, how does this exactly work? So he's going to explain. We know the difference between the Shem Havaye and the other Shemois. The Shem Havaye who Shem Ha'etzem. That when we're talking about Shem Havaye, we're talking about the inyan of the Atzmus HaOr. We're not talking about the inyan of the Or as it is in the Chayos of the Kalim. We're talking about the inyan of the Or itself. Okay, so I was going to explain. The inyan Shem Ha'etzem, why is it called Shem Ha'etzem? Shu meyuchad be'etzem. Because it's meyuchad, it's a hispashtus of the etzem. As the Pasuk says, Ani Havaye hu Shmi. Ani Havaye hu Shmi. And on that Pasuk, I think it's in Yeshai, if I'm not mistaken, the Meforshim say Ani Havaye hu Shmi, they explain Shmi HaMeyuchad Bi. Right? Ani Havaye hu Shmi, Shmi HaMeyuchad Bi, my name, the name of me, myself, not the name of my Peulois. The name of my Peulois, that Shem Elokim, that Shem Kel, that Shem Adnai, Shem Shindalad Yud, and so on and so on. Those are Peulois. But Shmi, HaMeyuchad Bi, that Shem Havaye. And he's going to explain weiter. V'hainu, the Koyach HaGvul, hu k'mo Koyach Nivdal Min HaEtzem. When we talk about Koyach HaGvul, when we talk about the other Shemois, when we talk about the Inyan of the Reshimo, that is what is a koyach nivdal min ha'etzem. Yes, it's the koyach of the Eibishter. It's the koyach HaGvul that was originally in the Orein Sof and now is Mizgale in the Reshimo. But it's called a koyach nivdal because you don't see the connection between the Reshimo and the etzem and Atzmus. And he explained, he gave a moshel for this before, and the moshel was of a nitzotz, right? A nitzotz, a spark. What is a spark? A spark is oil, but nevertheless it's oil that's separated from the fire. As he explains, and he says, now, the or of the kelim is bebechinas nivdal. It's like a nitzotz of the flame. Yes, it's an oil, but it's an oil that became separated from the original fire, so to speak. So too, the inyan of the Reshimo or Lagabe Atzmus, who kmo koyach nivdal. It's called a koyach nivdal. That's what the whole inyan of the Reshimo is. It's called a koyach nivdal, and that's why it's only called a roshim, because you don't see the connection between the etzem and the roshim. The roshim is only a sort of an impression of the inyan. It's not the inyan itself, right? It's not the koyach hagvul itself. It's what remains of koyach hagvul once the koyach habli gvul has been removed from it. Okay, that's why it's called the Reshimo, or leftover. Okay, so that all has to do with the inyan of the kalim. Aval shorish u'makora oir, but when we talk about the inyan of the oir that's mispashed in the sefirot, and the oir even that's l'malim in the sefirot, aval shorish u'makora oir hu bechinas yichud u'dveikus chulu. But the shorish and the makor ha'or, the oir that goes into the sefirot, that is bechinas yichud and dveikus. What are we talking about? We're talking about the eptzah inyan of the kav, right? The kav is bechinas dveikus to the Orein Sof before the Tzimtzum, as we will explain further. V'zeu Shem Havaye Shem Ha'etzem, and that inyan of the Kav, that inyan of Dveikus, to the Or is Shem Havaye Ha'etzem. Yes, Shmi HaMeyuchad Bi. What is Meyuchad Bi? It's Davuk and Meyuchad B'Bechinas Atzmus. Omnam B'Shem Havaye, nevertheless, There are two madregas, there are two inyonim in Shem Havaye, as he's going to explain. Omnam b'Shem Havaye, yesh gam ken beis madregas. U'kmo shekasuv, vayikra Havaye Havaye. This was again with Moshe Rabbeinu when in Parshas Kisisa, when he calls out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he says Havaye Havaye, and it's pointed out in Chassidus that psik tama b'gavayu, between the first Havaye and the second Havaye, there's a pause. There's actually a line. If you have a look in Tikkun Koirim, you'll see that there's a line between the first Havaye and the second Havaye. The line indicates in Trop that you have to pause between the two of them. Right? Vayikra Havaye, pause, Havaye. In other words, to show you that there's two different inyonim. Al derech, we have the same thing in last week's parasha, where it says, Avraham, Vayomer Alav, Avraham, Vayomer Hineni. But Avraham, there's a psik time of Gavayu. There's a psik time, you say Avraham, and pause Avraham. Why? Because Avraham Lamaila is not the same as Avraham Lamata, or let's say it the other way around. Avraham Lamata is not the same as Avraham Lamaila. Ayin came when it comes to Moshe Rabbeinu, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls him and he says, Moshe. So Chazal point out, Ein psik time of Gavayu. There is no psik time, there's no hevdel, there's no difference between Moshe Lamala and Moshe Lamata. Why? Because Moshe is emes, v'torah emes, and emes is always emes from beginning to end. And therefore, Ein psik time of Gavayu. So we understand from this Indian of psik time that it divides it into two inyonim. There's Avram Lamaila, Avram Lamata. There's Shem Havaye Lamaila, there's Shem Havaye Lamata. Shem Havaye de La'ela, Shem Havaye de Lasata. Right? That's the way it's explained. So, Vayikra Havaye Havaye. Yadua and the Hainu Havaye, the Seidish Toshlus. And the second Havaye, Shalamayla Miseidish Toshlus. The Shem Havaye, the Seidish Toshlus, who will Loshem Mahave. Creation, from Loshem to Mahave, to bring into being. Yeah, Mahave. And it's in other Mamorim, it's pointed out, Mahave is a Pu'ula Tamidis. It's not Shehava, but Mahave Pu'ula Tamidis. It's an ongoing thing that happens from moment to moment, that he's Mahave the Oilimus. Right? Al Kapanim, the Shem Havaye is from Loshen Mahave, to bring into being. V'hainu, Shehu Makor HaMahave. Right, this is the makor where his havus begins, where the entire creation, the bringing into being, the coming into being, that's where it begins. It's Gil of Or Ein Sof. That's what the name Havaye means. It means Gil of Or Ein Sof. But nevertheless, that Gil of Or Ein Sof, that's Mahave, is Havaye de Lasata. It's the lower Madrega in Shem Havaye, and not the higher Madrega in Shem Havaye, as we'll see shortly. Zeo Commotion is by Leel Perek in this Maimer. The Bizhavus Bepoil who are their Kav Chulu. Bizhavus Bepoil is through the Kav, and therefore the Kav is the inyan of an Or Mugbal, as we just said, that it's Esas Firis hagenuzot, it's also Shem Havaye. The Esas Firis hagenuzot in Shem Havaye is Yud is Bechinas Chochma, Hey, Bechinas Bina, Vav is the Vav sefirot of Zeirampin, and final Hey is obviously Malchus. So that Shem Havaye, the Shem is Mahave, is the Shem associated with the Kav, is Shem Havaye de Lasata, as he explained in Perek Ches. There's another explanation of it, which is brought in Perek Chof, in Igeres HaKodesh in Tanya, where in so it says over there that another explanation, where did the Kav get the Koyach to be Mahava from? From the inyan of Ha'or hu ma'en ha'ma'or, that the light of the Kav, the Or of the Kav, is like the Ma'or from which it comes. Why? Because it's attached to the Ma'or from which it comes. Right? It's Davuk, as we said before. It's Davuk to that to the Makorais Havus, to Atzkus. Okopani. Ubedibra Amask v'asis atzitz b'Torah or Mavuar, the Shnei Shemois Havaye, that these two Shemois Havaye, as we said before, Heim Bechinas Haratzoin, v'Havaye Beis, Hu ki Inyan Havaye Mershu Mahave, Kol Havayos Me'ain Liyesh. So the inyan of Havaye in the Ratzoin prior to creation. And then there's what's called, he'll explain in a second, alos haratzon. There's ratzon atzmi, and then there's alos haratzon. The ratzon for oilemus, the ratzon for his havus. That ratzon for his havus is the second Shem Havaye. The ratzon atzmi, that's the Shem Havaye it's the first Shem Havaye in Havaye. Right? That's what he's about to explain. Again, the Shnei Shemos Havaye hen b'chinas haratzon. That's the first one. Havaye Beis who ki inyan Havaye moyer shu mahave kol haviyos mi'ayin leyesh. Kol haviyos meaning all of creation. It could be explained. It could be pronounced as havayos, but I think it's pronounced as haviyos as far as I remember. Yeah, Eliezer, you had a question.
I think this is quite interesting because I heard on many occasions that there is a machlokes between the Rambam and the Mekubolim about Shem Havaye. That according to the Mekubolim, that's this is not like in other words, according to the Rambam, this is like all the other shemas, and according to Mekubolim, that's some special shem. So that difference, it seems to be that we could, according to what it says here, that there are actually two shemas Havaye.
Two shemas Havaye, yeah.
So you can say that
so there's no machloikis,
there is not really machloikis there.
Right.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So he said. So the first Havaye is in Etzem Haratzon, and the second Shem Havaye is in Alos Haratzon. In other words, he wanted it to be that way, that it should be a Shem Havaye that's been nifshach into Seidish Shtalshlus, as we'll see. What's the makor of the second Shem Havaye, the lower Shem Havaye, Havaye de la Sata? That's Havaye de la Eila, the first name Havaye, right? That's the shorish of the second Shem Havaye. Havaye HaBeis, hu ba'alos haratzon. Therefore, it turns out that the second Shem Havaye is in alos haratzon. In other words, when kisha'ala b'yitzon livro es oilemis. That's what alos haratzon means. Yeah, alos haratzon means that there's an inyan of he wanted oilemis already. So since he wanted oilemis, he knew what it was that he wanted. Therefore, there's a tziyur in the oil, and that tziyur is called Shem Havaye. Right? That's what he says now. Lefiza Havaye Beis hu ba'alos haratzon lahatzil. Lahatzil. Sheba Orein Sof Lifnei Hatzimtum. It's a Ratzon Lahatzil in the Orein Sof. Okay. That's a Havaye HaBeis. The Havaye Aleph who koidem Alos Haratzon. That's what precedes Alos Haratzon. It's in the Inyan of Etzem Haratzon. V'yesh loima the Havaye HaBeis hu Havaye Desedi Shtalshlus Yene Kamosh hu B'Orein Sof Lifnei Hatzimtum hu Inyan Shorsha Havayos Kamosh Klulim B'Haratzon. It's the shortage of everything as it is in Ratzon. So the second name Havaye is in its shirish, it's the inyan of the shirish of Mamalekul Almin. Hakol Orein Sof Abligvul. In Orein Sof Abligvul. In other words, we're taking it up a step now. First we said that Shem Havaye is the name of the Kav, right? And Shem Havaye de la Eila is the Etzem Haratzon, right? That's Lamaila Miakav, the Etzem Ha'or. But now we're taking it a step higher. We're saying that in Ratzon itself, there's two madregas. The Ratzon for oilemus, but even before the oilemus were created, that's the lower Shem Havaye, right? The Ratzon for oilemus, and then there's the Etzem Ratzon, where the first Shem Havaye is. If we look at it the second way, then the Shorish B'Malekul Almin, in other words, the second Shem Havaye, as it is included in Orein Sof HaBligvul, which is the Indian of the Etzem Haratzon is the Orein Sof HaBligvul. Okay, so this is the Indian of the second Shem Havaye base, the Lasata. Shem Havaye Aleph hu be'etzem haratzon shelamala mishor shehavos hakelim haklulim. It's above anything that could be even shaykh to the metzius, to the havius of Shem HaMahave, right? It's not shaykh to the inyan of Hisavus. It's Lamala Mishem Kol inyan Hisavus. That would be the Shem Havaye Aleph. Omnam be'emes hakol echad. Both Shem Havayas, in truth, they're really the same thing. The Bechlal, Shorish Havayas, Akelim Chulu, Ugam Bechinas Haratzim, Masha Allah, B'Eternal Hatzil, V'derech Klal, the Bechinas Shorish, B'Malikol Almin, V'Havaya Aleph, Shorish Liyois Oilakach. In other words, the second Shem Havaya came from the first Shem Havaya, and since they're exactly the same oisius, so the relationship between them is that this is just the Hamshocha, the Hemshech, the hamshocha of that inyan that was there before, the Shem Havaye Aleph, which is a shoirish liyois oilakach, the shoirish of alos haratzon, right? The shoirish of alos haratzon. And what's that inyan? The shoirish of alos haratzon is called ratzon av ratzon, or in Aramaic, hu inyan raiva dechol raivin. Raiva dechol raivin means the ratzon av ratzon. It's the ratzon for there to be a ratzon. In other words, a ratzon atzmi for there to be a ratzon for oilumus. That's called Raiva the Raiva. Zehu etzem haratzon hakol hakol. Includes everything. V'hu be'etzem mishorish hamakor b'chinus sovel kol almin chulu. Therefore, it's in the inyan of etzem, and it's the shorish of sovel kol almin. Masha ein kain Havaye de l'sata is the shorish of mamalik kol almin. V'harei ze kamo shekazu b'dir ha'maschel b'yom hazeh yechaper drusha rishon perek daled. The tzur, we're talking about the inyan of Hashem tzuri v'goali, right? The inyan of the Loshen tzur is a rock, but everything's contained in it. There's a pasuk, and I'm blanking out on the pasuk over here, but. He mentioned it earlier in the Yom Kippur drosha. He said that was the inyan of Tzur, and which is Shorish Hamakol L'chol Shorish Havaye. In other words, Tzur is just like you have in a rock. You have the sparks of, if you hit the rock with a piece of metal, sparks will fly out of the rock. Right, so in other words, they're contained there, but they're contained there in a way that's completely hidden. So too, all of these inyanim are contained in surah, contained in that madrega of oil, which is the shorish makol chol shorish Havaye. Zevin Shem Havaye Aleph b'chinas Raiva d'Kol Raivin, as they contained all the other inyanim of Havaye. In other words, the sparks that come out afterwards are all contained in the tzur in the first Shem Havaye. The shorish Havaye. Who boy behelem, so the velo bepoil. The shorish of Havaye Hasheni is in the Havaye Harishon, bekoyach and not bepoil. Just like the spark is contained in the rock, bekoyach and not bepoil unless you hit it, unless you make a pu'ula. V'zeu b'china Shem Havaye HaBeis. What's the poil? The poil is Shem Havaye HaBeis. Hana b'china shorish hamakor or the malkol almin. Hakol be'etzem haratzin chulu. So we're going back now to our original subject, which is the inyan of esesfiris hagenuzot. How do they relate to Shem Havaye? So lefize bechinas esesfiris hagenuzot shebeshorish hamakor hakav hu inyan Shem Havaye chulu. That's the inyan of Shem Havaye. He doesn't say here yet which Shem Havaye. Let's wait for a minute and we'll see. So the inyan of the esesfiris hagenuzot, I'm sure you can guess which one it is. Shebeshorish hamakor hakav hu inyan Shem Havaye chulu. Ayin ze kamo Hashem is the Rishimo, and it's not like the inyan of the Rishimo. The Shem is the Rishimo again. Shem Ker, Shem Elokim, Shem Tzvaois, and so on and so forth. Shin Daled Yud. The Shem Havaye hu Shem Ha'etzem Shemiyuchad chulu, as we said before. Shmi HaMiyuchad Bi. V'gam lefi ma shekazul b'makom ha'acher b'inyan Shem Ha'etzem. So it fits with what is explained elsewhere as well, that the inyan of Shem Ha'etzem is the inyan of Bligvul, because the Shem Ha'etzem, which is in the Oyer Ein Sof Lifnei HaTimtum, is b'chinas Bligvul. Alpha P, that it's the shoirish of the Shem Havaye b'chinas Gvul, in the Kav. Shaharu Blima Lagabe Esesfiris is the Kalim, because Lagabe the Kalim is called for sure Esesfiris, it's called b'chinas Bligvul. And that whole inyan of the kav, etc., is Shem Havaye that shaykh to say the Ishtalshel the second time of Shem Havaye. But the orange of a bligvul, mamish, which is the shorish of the second name Havaye, Zeu Shem Havaye Rishon, bechinas Rabbi the whole Rabbi. So you have the tzura in the, it looks like this. In the Orein Sof, you have Shem Havaye, right? That comes out later in the Kav, which is basically the Indian of the Esesfiris like Nuzois. The Shurish of the Kav is the Esesfiris like Nuzois. And those Esesfiris like Nuzois are the Shem Havaye the Lasata. That's what we just explained. Okay, so he's going to explain it on the Kitzur. But Esesfiris like Nuzois, Shayin Shurish, Gvul, Hain, Gvul the Oirois. Not Gvul the Kalim, Gvul the Oirois. Vahin Shem Havaye. V'zeu vayikra Havaye Havaye psiktam gavayu. So there's two different inyonim. Ha'alef koidem alos haratzon. Beis ba'alos haratzon. Alos haratzon is alos haratzon lo elamis. V'hainu l'shem Havaye alef hu be'etzem haratzon v'hu oren sofa bligvul. Shorish b'chinosei v'kol amin. V'beis v'chinos shosh ha'oros ha'klulim b'oren sof v'hu shorish b'chines mamale kol amin. And I think we will stop here. All right. Any questions? We good? Okay, so
just on two names Havaye. When we say in Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, is there also psik there? And
that's where it is. That's where it is. Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. That's where it is in Parshas Kisisa. I actually have it here. Vayavor Hashem al panav vayikra Hashem kel rachum v'chanun erach b'ayim rav chesed v'emes. If you have a look in a tikkun and maybe even in a chumash, you'll see that says a psik time of gavayim. Havaye, Havaye.
Okay, all now right. My davening is going to be longer.
Right. That's the whole purpose of it. The whole purpose of learning Chassidus is that we should daven better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right, Rabbi Shkoyach, and we'll continue Be'ez Hashem next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
everybody.